first of all, Rich. Lots of hard work in mind. Must be chuffed that you can call him.
Oh, terrific! Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic news for us as a club, as a team, and for Ben in particular. His story, I suppose, is a very, very interesting one, and to get the call up at 29 years old is a great testament to how he's fought through some issues, if you like, during his career and his life, and turned himself around to a position where he's got a call up to an international squad. I think it's brave from Steve McNamara as well. He said he's going to pick on form. Well, he's picking on form. Ben is, and has been for quite a long time, one of the form wingers in the competition. But that aside, he offers something different, and he plays the game in a slightly different style to the way a lot of wingers and a lot of conventional wingers in the modern game will play it. So it's whether Steve could see enough in the way Ben played to see whether he could fit that into his squad and harness that within the way his team's going to play. And he's a long way off, obviously, playing a game for him yet, but it's a terrific incentive for him to try and maintain that form throughout the year. Probably before the Huddersfield game, we got wind that he were in Steve's thoughts, and we actually told Benny before that game, and I thought he responded with probably his best game for the club, which were great for him. Feeling that little bit of extra pressure and knowing that he will be under scrutiny for the national team. He delivered his best display of the season, if not in for the club. So great. How can I say? A great little test for him in a way that he came through with flying colours. So no, terrific for our club, terrific for Benny himself, and we're all very proud of him.
As you say, good for the rest of the season, because he's set his standards now that he's got to keep, I suppose, if he's going to really push in that squad.
Yeah, he knows that. He knows that, and we've had a little chat about how to handle it. Handling little bits of success sometimes is just as difficult as handling the tough times and the failure. Sometimes you have to be strong to get you through the tough times, but now, he's probably in a little bit of a different category. His abilities are being recognised. His prominence with us will make him a player that other teams are doing the homework on, probably in a little more detail. So he's got to respond to that challenge and maintain that form if he wants to try and push forward for the place. I think his versatility will help him as well. He's a guy that you can throw him in most positions, and he'll be able to carry off. Be very adept at the role.
I think he said that it's kind of helped give him a slightly more free role. Is that something that you kind of saw from the off, or something that you've adapted since he's been here?
Yeah, I think at Hull KR he was very much a utility man. Played a bit of fullback, a bit of centre, a little bit of wing. But I saw his performances for Featherstone. I thought, he made a real good fist of being an out-and-out winger. But I felt he's, some of the characteristics in his game, his ability to find passes is one, whether that be as a dummy half, or whether that be when he's coming as a sweep runner and playing out the back. He has got that sort of, how can I say, that fullback style, bit of fullback in him, and I think his ability to attack the ruck like a fullback would, or I suppose like Liam Price would in a way. All of a sudden he appears from nowhere, goes in and attacks around the marker area, and we didn't want to lose some of those massive strengths that he's got by sticking him out on the left wing and playing as an orthodox winger. So we tried to come up with a little bit of a style, particularly in our half of the field as well, where we gave him this free role, and the people on the left side could compensate and know that he wasn't going to be around for a few plays, but also, when he's finding his way back, how would we find him back in the spot? And it took a little bit of work, but one thing I think we've worked is not just with Benny, with everyone, is trying to promote everybody's individual strengths. And I think Benny has relished that more than anybody else in our team, really.
And it's good for the club. Is it good for the other guys that are here, and it gives them a bit of a taste for whatever country, really, with the World Cup?
Well, I think it's great that Steve's picked him because, let's be right, it'd be easy. You could probably find more reasons not to pick Ben Cockayne for an international squad, couldn't you? With some of his history, he's playing with an unfashionable club. He's 29-year-old, and it would have probably been, I think it's a brave selection, but I think it's one that has been very, very much warranted. And I'd like to think that this highlights that we are being watched, and some of our form and some of our English players, will come under the radar if the performances warrant it. And I think we've probably got one or two other names that, if they can sustain their form and keep playing to a high standard, they may well come into, not come into the reckoning, but certainly come on Steve's radar.
How much of a risk was he?
Well, that's a good question, because I didn't see it as any risk at all. I just thought I was getting a really good player and a good kid. He won't mind me saying this, at knockdown value, because I suppose he was seen as a little bit tainted out there. A little bit of the history to it is I used to live next door, but a couple to him. My first house I ever bought, his parents bought a house on on the same estate. So I've known Benny from being 12 or 13 year old. So all I guess the outside perception of him, especially after one or two of his high profile incidents, were probably not a particularly good one. And the way he played the game, he sailed close to the wind a lot of the time on the field as well. But he's a little bit older and a bit more mature. And I've got the benefit of knowing him since he was a teenager. And, I know his parents. So to me, the character side of things, quite the opposite really with me. I felt he was a player that I could utilise in another way rather than being a man management case. I felt we would be able to utilise the fact that he's been in the armed forces. He's a guy that possesses a lot of respect for people within the squad, and he's firmly become part of our senior players group or leadership group, if you like, and he does a really good job at it. So that side of things, to me, it wasn't a gamble. I just saw us getting an experienced player. The fact that we did put him on a short lead. We did put some clauses in his contract that if he had one minor step out of line off field indiscretion, then he would be gone. But we've not had a minute's bother out of him.
Is this the right time in his career, do you think, for him to make the most of this opportunity down in England?
Yeah, I think so. I think because of his form, because of some of the stuff we've talked about, his experience, the change of club probably did him good. He's playing very much at his hometown club, if you like, and after playing on the doorstep at Featherstone as well. And I think he's made some changes in his own personal life. I think most of you will be aware that he's got a little bit of a business sideline going on, and I think yeah, I think he's a far more rounded and focused individual than perhaps he was 4 or 5 years ago. That might come about at the stage of the career he's at, and his maturation as a person, I guess.
Just looking ahead to, is that finished on?
Yeah, have we got a game Sunday?
Just looking ahead to Sunday.
Yeah.
Does it make it a different proposition, the fact that they've had a change of coach?
I suppose so. I think when anybody changes a coach, you usually see it as a reaction or a little upspurt in form, if you like. The players feel a little bit guilty about what's going on, but I'm not sure in this case. I'm not sure if I'm not too sure what more they would have expected of Phil. I think the statement from the club about results speak for themselves. I think they're kidding a little bit, really. I think they should just come out and say, if the new management want to change a coach, I think that's the new management and the owner's prerogative. I think everybody respects and understands that if they want their own people in, they'll go out and do that. If they're buying a club and paying the money, I think they're more than entitled to do that. It's hard on the coach that loses his job, but I think to sort of start putting it to results when, come middle of January, I don't even know if Phil knew he had a team or whether he was starting the season. And this is a tough competition to go into with so much uncertainty and so little resource at your disposal. So I don't think there's a coach in the game that won't feel really put out for Phil, and maybe his players feel a little bit like that as well. I don't know, because I'm not privy to it. What I do know is, they've got a very smart operator in Sean Long working in there, as a rugby league tactician and technician. He's very, very good. So I know that he'll have them prepared. I'm not sure whether he'll solely be preparing the team or whether Alan Hunt will be, but I think I think it's safe to say I know Sean will make sure he's got all the bases covered, and I know he'll rise to the challenge of what he's got to do, because that's the type of character he is. That's the type of character he is. So I'm expecting them to come well prepared. I think they've got, they have got some signs of promise that we've seen. I'm not sure that the scoreline necessarily reflected the game last week when they played London. I don't think, I've been on this myself when we've played London. I don't think it were a 30 odd points to whatever it was type performance. Scored 4 tries from kicks, which of course tries from kicks count, but what I'm saying is they didn't perhaps dominate the game as the scorelines would suggested. So we're expecting a tough game. I mean, we've had 2 tough games and come out marginally on the wrong side in the last few minutes in a very tough way for the last 2 weeks. So I think for us, we need to make sure emotionally we show the right responses ourselves and make sure that the toughness in which we've played over the last 2 weeks, we can back that up again. If we do that, then we'll be okay.
From your point of view, you're not used to going into games particularly as favourites. Is that a different challenge?
Oh no, not really.
Expected to win this game.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not too sure, Pete. I'm not too sure that bothers us. I would look at it and say, as a team, there ain't too many games that we go into not expecting to win and compete, and that's where we've arrived at as a team, I think, and that is the case for us. So we're not weighed down by any burden of expectation at all. It's round 6. There's still a long way to go, and there's a lot of points to play for, and this is 2 points, same as any other. So whether we're favourites or not favourites, it won't alter our preparation or our focus. We'll just be focusing on making sure, like I said, we get that right level of toughness and commitment, which we have done over the last couple of weeks, and at the same time recognising why we probably haven't won them games as well. Some coaches don't ordinarily like completion rates, and too much can be read into completion rates, but we've had a couple of weeks at around 60-65%, which we know when we're travelling really well we're always getting above 80, and we think we're a team that can regularly complete at over 80%, and that's probably been a bit of a factor in why we maybe not come up with 2 points over the last 2 weeks.
There's a couple of guys you didn't finish, Andy and Mariano, the weekend out. How are they doing this week?
Mariano's fine, and Andy Raleigh will miss a couple of weeks. Yeah, he's got a slight knee ligament injury. He has had a brace on, but that's come off today, and it may be in contention next week, if not the week after. So it's a minor strain in there, and he'll miss a couple of weeks, which is a blow for us. I felt we missed him last week. We lost him after 15 minutes, and towards the end of the game, we're losing Mariano as well. We obviously had to rotate our subs around a lot quicker, and we had some guys, I think it was about 17-18 minutes to go. Me and Webb all looked at each other and we thought, we're a long way from home here, and I think we got 2 fresh interchanges left. I won't say fresh interchanges, with 2 blokes on the bench that we could use, and we'd probably got 3 or 4 really tired bodies out there, and I think that got us in the end. And as we know, Andy's a guy that can do phenomenal game time and gives you the same level of performance week in, week out, and I thought we really missed that in the middle, particularly towards the end of the game last week.
I mean, if you guys come in, I guess, to replace Harry, Carl Trouty coming back from Doncaster last week. Yeah,
Trouty did okay. Spent a little bit of time in the middle and played a little bit on the edge for us as well. And another good performance from Chris Anakin. He came on and played, again, a pretty big physical pack. He pushed some real good game time out, had a hand in his try, and played really, really strongly again. And I'm really happy with the way he's started his first grade career.
And Danny, is it as it was with Danny with injury?
Danny's had an operation, and we'll expect him back for the games at Easter. And I can't see much change between now and then that it's going to speed up any more than that.